This 11-story hotel is unlike anything Melbourne has ever seen. With an amazing rooftop bar and gathering space, incredible conference facilities, and of course, amazing guest rooms and suites like this one. So if you have friends and family coming to town for a visit, or want to go out and enjoy downtown Melbourne's great restaurants, bars, and shopping for a night or two, Hotel Melby is the place to be. Hi, and welcome back to the 411 on the 321. Tales, tenets, and tips from Space Coast business leaders, brought to you by the Melbourne Regional Chamber. I'm your host, Mel Thomas. I'm joining you today from the gorgeous Hotel Melby. And with me is a very special guest, Laura Gambino. She is the CEO of the Early Learning Coalition of Brevard County. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it is, I know, gorgeous
beautiful
day.
Setting, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to get into it. We'll be right back with Laura after a few words from our champion sponsor, Hedrick Brothers Construction.
Since 1979, Hedrick Brothers Construction has been delivering quality construction for the commercial and luxury residential markets of South Florida. In 2020, a team of 2 expanded into the Space Coast region and opened an office here in Melbourne. 3 years later, the team's grown to over a dozen professionals, working on large, local projects and investing in our community. The sky's the limit for the Hedrick team. Get to know them. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back. So Laura, I know we've been talking about doing this forever, so I'm super excited that we finally are sitting down and doing this. I finally get you all to myself. So I'm going to take full advantage this morning. I hope that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
Good. So for anyone unfamiliar, I wonder if you can just take us all the way back to the beginning. What is the Early Learning Coalition and what do you do here in Brevard County?
So the Early Learning Coalition is an independent nonprofit agency that supports and develops and funds early learning childcare, subsidized childcare, and the VPK program. Legislatively drawn back about 20 years ago, the state of Florida decided they were going to invest in early education, and that's high quality childcare for all children, birth to 5 years old, and our VPK program, which is for all 4-year-olds. Both programs are administered through our nonprofit. We are funded by the state with federal dollars as well. And we basically work with over 200 childcare providers throughout the entire county, and we support them in providing high-quality childcare for low-indigent families, single-parent homes, and the VPK programming. So we are supporting all early education from birth to 5 years old. We are now part of the full educational stream from when a child is born all the way up through K-12 and well into technical career as well as advanced careers in the workforce.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always impressed whenever guests come on and I always learn something, but 200 partners that you're working with?
Yes, we do.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's an interesting model. We're an independent agency, but we're funded by government funds.
Okay.
So we basically contract with the state to provide this service to the county, and then we turn back around and invest and partner with the child care centers, including the Brevard Public School System, to provide these programs at the ground level. Yeah.
And
So
important too. Yeah.
Yes.
Starting at an early age.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you could tell me what drew you to this work. Can you tell me a little bit about your background?
So my background is Chamber of Commerce and local government. And I was serving, actually a funny story, I was serving as the CEO of the Hollywood Chamber down in South Florida. I'm from South Florida. And our board chair called me and said, we've got an opportunity to have a governor's appointee on our board. And the board chair wanted the seat. And through conversation, we learned there are certain requirements for certain mandated seats on our board. And one of those is for the private sector governor appointed. Well, it turns out my board chair could not do it because his wife was in the industry. And that's so he said, well, why don't you do it? So I said, okay, and I did, and I got on the Brevard County, and this took me a long time when I moved to Brevard. I was Brevard, but I served on the board in Brevard County ELC for about 6 years and served in a number of capacities on the executive committee, on their finance and audit committee, and moved to Central Florida in 2016 and served for a short time on the Osceola County ELC as their interim chair. At the time, I'd had about 8 years of volunteer, and I said, well, maybe I need to make this a full-time job. And the Brevard position opened up. I applied, and here I am, almost 4 years later.
I love it when stories start with, well, I got asked, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll try it. Yeah, and the rest is history.
Yes.
How lucky are we?
Thank you.
Yay.
Thanks.
So I'm wondering, you've provided us a little background information. Can you tell us, and I kind of think I know the answer, but I'm sure you have way more information here, how what you do impacts the workforce?
Okay. Great question, especially now. We have, in the last 2 years, pandemic really shook everybody up. Since the pandemic, it's changed our model some. Parents are not bringing their children to the earlier education programming for a variety of reasons. Their workforce schedules have changed. There are more of them staying home, more of them in a remote model. So that has kind of shifted and changed. We've seen a slight decline over the pandemic time and still post, but we're now seeing increases back up. But it helps the workforce in a variety of ways. Parents can't go to work unless they have childcare. So we're a critical piece. And unfortunately, a lot of times, image-wise, people think we're just babysitters. And one of our tenets and one of our mission is to make everybody understand that a child is ready at kindergarten because they've been in a high-quality environment from birth, both at home and in an organized instructional setting. And that basis and that foundation sets the child up for success through their entire K-12 experience. So we're still working on getting that message out.
And I think it's such an interesting dynamic too. You are serving the current workforce, the parents that are having to work and they need these services for their children so they can be able to go to work. But you're also serving the needs of the future workforce. So these little ones and the adolescents and the older ones, those are going to be our next generation. So
They are.
You're serving the workforce all the way around.
Yes.
Bravo. Yeah.
Thank you. It's full cycle. And we, my counterpart in Orange County, we're actually looking to try to do this. They did a very cool event about 2 years ago, and they took all of the graduates of the BPK program from 20 years prior and interviewed them.
Like, where are they now?
Right.
I
So
love it.
that's really talking, full cycle.
Okay, we
Yeah.
need to do that.
Yeah.
Let me know. I would be so down for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
What are some of the challenges that you face?
Workforce.
Okay, all right.
That is probably our biggest since the pandemic.
Like internally, your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
For providers, our own agency, not as much, really, it's the providers. As you are probably aware, local media, teachers are leaving. Teachers in the K-12 system. Well, they're also leaving in the early education arena. It's hard. There are a lot of regulatory and quality and compliance requirements. People don't want to do that. They don't want to have to take this course. They don't want to take 45 hours of DCF training. They'll get the job because they love kids, but then they don't realize how much. So the challenge for us has been helping our providers, who are private business owners. They're all, we've got a few that are faith-based and some that are family home care, but most are private business owners or small business owners, helping them with business recruitment, business retention, employee retention, because it has been a challenge. And it's even more of a challenge because when you get into what we call the cost of care and a level of care, if you have infant toddlers and you have 1-year-olds, switching teachers or losing teachers, you lose the consistency. And that's one of the biggest tenets of early education and early childhood is the consistent caregiver, both mom and dad, and in the home, in the childcare setting.
Right. It all goes back to that nurturing environment. Yeah. And if it's on shaky ground,
and
absolutely.
Inconsistent, and there's a different teacher every other day, it's challenging.
So I'm going to come back to your challenges later because I want our viewers to know how they can help. But I also was wondering, what are some of the long-term effects? Like I definitely want to hear where are they now and see what you've done. But if people going through the program, what are some of the long-term results?
So it comes down to a couple of different milestones. graduation from high school and being successful in life. Some agencies use the incarceration. It keeps educated children stay out of jail. I like to phrase it as they're graduating high school and they are now equipped for life, which means they're employed. They are they have the social emotional skill sets to maintain relationships in life. So, but mostly the milestone that we use in the industry is the graduation rate, graduation from high school. Again, we kind of have to keep reiterating because a lot of our funders, because it's state and federal, they want to look at assessments. And oftentimes it's hard to assess a 4-year-old. You can assess a 6th grader, you can assess who is reading at 3rd grade.
Yes.
But those assessments in the K-12 system, they have to have had a foundation. And so what we look at is what we call VPK and kindergarten ready. And what that means is if the child is ready, not just reading and writing and being able to sing the alphabet, the child is ready socially and emotionally and understands the structure of a classroom. That's one of the measures that we look at.
Well, in soft skills, when we talk about workforce readiness, I think the hard skills, you can learn those. You can be taught those and trained those to an extent. But there seems to be, at least nowadays, the soft skills. I mean, that's something that I feel like employers really look for. It's critical.
It is.
And that's what you provide from an early age all the way up. You're learning those people skills.
And the employers that we work with and the chamber works with as well need to understand too that that soft skill training does start when the baby's 6 months old.
Yeah.
Because then they learn all of that through the parent and the child caregiver. It's vocabulary, it's facial expressions, it's the consistency in a schedule. So it does start at an early age, which a lot of people don't really realize.
Incredible. So I read the statistic, and it was like Brevard is the 4th largest, or the 4th increasing growth population county in Florida. Yep. I don't know, maybe we woke up today and it was different because I feel like we're on shifting sands lately, but I don't think anyone can argue that we're growing. We're increasing the population and industries as well.
Yes.
I wonder if you could kind of say, what is the Early Learning Coalition like? What kind of value do you bring, whether it's a company moving here, an individual, a family? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. We actually just had an outreach event with Brevard, who is bringing some new
families. One of my favorites.
Yeah,
yes.
They're moving here.
Yeah.
We did what we call family engagement and a get to know you, and it was teaching them and just sharing our resources. Not only do we work with the providers, we also are probably Brevard's biggest resource in the county because a lot of people don't seem to realize that we're the intake. When we do an intake, it's called CCR&R, and it's Child Care Resource and Referral. We may get someone that just walks in and says, I just moved here. I'm living out of my car, and I just lost my spouse, and I have 2 children. And not only will they understand where they can go for childcare, but they will also get resources for food, to sleep somewhere, to help them with other services that they may need. So we are that resource and referral from the start. A piece of that is the childcare. So investing in childcare with our businesses and letting them know the resources that they have, that's building our future workforce. I say that, when we sit back here in 20 years, we're going to be looking at the high school graduates and the graduates that have, graduated with a certificate in teachers at Eastern Florida State College. We're building that. There's a legacy here. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you truly are living up to your name. You're a coalition. Yeah. You're not just one entity. You're a true community partner. Yeah. And I mean, it shows. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So speaking of partnerships, you have been a partner of the Melbourne Regional Chamber 17 years. Yeah. So congratulations. And I'm sure the Chamber, on behalf of the Chamber, thank you for your support there. Yes. Can you speak on why partnerships like the Chamber, other organizations that you're involved with, why they are so critical to your mission?
It's really truly the partnership, being able to have the resources together, being able to have a voice at Chamber events. It helps us be able to educate small, mid-sized, and large business owners. We do fill a component of the workforce issues that many of the businesses are facing, whether it's, Blue Origin or it's the, my biscuit shop down the street. We're fulfilling that. Entrepreneurship, many people getting ready to open up their business or their small business, or they're working this side hustle while they're working full time. They need childcare in the interim. Getting that message out that it's available, we're available, and the power of what we're doing as it relates to educating the entire workforce. A lot of people still, not just our lower income families, but there's a lot of middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class that don't realize the value of VPK. The biggest component, there's a book written, they're called 30 Million Words, and it is a psychological study on the impact on children from birth to 5. And they study the impact of children that didn't hear this many words and children that heard this many words in the first 3 years of their life. And it was drastic. And the other key area is between 3 and 4-year-olds when it's neuroplasticity, it's a big word, but that is the highest point of any person's life of neuro and brain development is from birth to 4 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know that. So when your child is born and you go home from the hospital, and I have a child, he's grown now, but you look and you think, oh my, I'm shaping this.
Yeah.
And we are. So, and it's not just helping the providers and our business owners, it's also helping the parents understand that at home, you're shaping this child as well. So
nice.
Huge influence, yeah.
I'm going to look that book up, and I'm going to just tell my husband when I talk all the time, I'm just trying to help your neuroplasticity with my 30 million words a day that I feed you. Yes, you heard that, honey.
It works.
Okay, good. I think you're just a tremendous resource, though. Like you said, whether it's a nonprofit, a small business, a huge, large stakeholder with thousands of employees, you're a great resource to retain employees, to attract employees, if you know that that's here. Especially, I love that you mentioned the small business owner that might not have plans in place or the resources to just, hey, this exists here in Brevard. It's established. It's doing great things. So bravo to you.
Thank you.
You're a great partner.
Thank you. And through the Chamber, I might add also, the Chamber and in conjunction with the Florida Chamber is also recognizing that this is a business issue. So we are involved with the Prosperity Summit. We're involved with the Learners to Earners. And again, educating the business owners and businesses and the business leadership, the value of investing in that birth to 5 time frame.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's important. So let's say people are watching, they're listening right now, and they're moved just like I am. They want to help. So can you give us, first of all, your website, and then also what are ways they can support? Is it volunteerism? Are you hiring? What does that look like? Can they put you in front of an audience at a chamber event? Tell us all the ways.
All of those.
All of the ways.
All of the above. Yes. Definitely put us in with the chamber and being able to have this message. Definitely go to our website, www.elcbrevard.org.
Perfect.
elcbrevard.org. Main line is 321-637-1800, and that will get you right into our resource team. And again, I can't say enough about our resource team. Will help with, and even sometimes they might be calling for childcare, and they will also need housing or they need food assistance. That's available. Volunteers, we have part-time, and usually we try to partner with the schools for education and people that are looking at early ed, so that there's some synergy and connection. And we are hiring, yes. We do have, we have one position now that is our Director of Family Services position, and then we might have another couple positions coming on board,
And they can always find the open positions on your website?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Excellent.
And we have now four office locations. We have a main office in Melbourne, main office in Rockledge, and we have partnered with CareerSource as well to have satellite space and a family service representative at the Palm Bay office and Titusville. So we're having that the stretch of we've got North and South County availability.
What another great partner, community partner.
Yeah.
It's so smart too to partner with CareerSource, again, for the existing workforce, the parents, and the future.
Yes.
Bravo to you.
Thank you.
So I'm sure you have many, and I'm going to put you on the spot and make you narrow it down. Well, what's your favorite part of your job?
Oh, favorite part of my job.
Yeah. It's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
Sorry.
I guess two-part, that I get to share my love of literacy and children and reading. I'm a voracious reader. Sharing the love of books and reading is one of my passions. And also being able to work with teachers and the people that work for us in the office, and the teachers and the directors are probably the most passionate group of people, because they all, how should I say, 90% of them are there for children.
Yeah.
They love the children. You can sense it, you can see it, and that's important for us. But it restores my belief and love for humanity and for people that love and enjoy working with children. So that's a good part of it.
Yeah. I think that's important, right? And I get that from you too. The passion, I mean, it's palpable. It comes off of you. And like you said, when you love what you do and you love the people that you're surrounded with and who you're serving, it makes it really easy to get up in the morning.
It does.
Yeah.
We get caught up in the business-like. It's business-like, but when we have children in our lobby, it's funny. Our whole senior team will all go, "There's a little one out there." So I will always
drop everything.
Oh yeah, I get on the ground and I'll find a book and I'll find a puzzle, and so those little joyous moments are fun.
Okay, good.
We had a parent in last week with triplets.
Oh.
18-month-old triplets.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but we all had fun. There were like 4 or 5 of us that came out into the main lobby and we were having fun.
So if you don't answer that number that we just flashed up earlier, it's because triplets just walked in and everyone's playing. Call back. Yes, or go on the website.
Yes.
Perfect. So this is the time in the program where we ask all of our guests, if you could leave us with a little pearl of wisdom, a little tenet, a belief, something you might have heard in a past life that just has served you well and has resonated with you.
Well, there's two. One is a quote. I had my notes, so I was a little prepared. One's a quote that I've always loved from President Roosevelt. It's a long one. I won't read the whole quote, but it basically comes down to dare and dare greatly, which I love, and it's the title of a book from Brene Brown. And the other one I learned probably early in my career, in my chamber world career, was people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's lovely.
So
I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Well, thank you for caring.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Appreciate it very much.
I'm going to send you back to your good work.
Yes.
I am too. You're welcome back anytime. Keep
you.
us posted. Let us know how we can support you.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura.
Great. Thank you.
So thanks again to my guest today, Laura. For more information on the Early Learning Coalition of Brevard County, can you tell us that website one more time?
www.elcbrevard.org.
Perfect. And to learn more about Early Learning Coalition of Brevard County, Laura, or any of the chamber partners, please also visit melbourneregionalchamber.com. I'd like to thank the Hotel Melby for putting us up in this gorgeous suite this morning, Anthony Demalia with Tightline Productions for making us look so great, and as always, Isabella Serrano, Marketing and Communications Manager for the Melbourne Chamber, for producing the 411 on the 321. I've been your host, Mel Thomas. We'll see you soon.